The race that I look forward to the most is probably the 500. I'm sure that's the top of the list for 90% of the field, just because of the event it is. Also live in Indianapolis, so it's a great time to have friends and family travel over from many different countries and come into town and catch up with them. But yeah, that would be my favorite race of the year. You know, as far as layouts and tracks for challenges, there's many different combinations that make each track, you know, extremely tough. You know, you've got many tracks that are tough to pass, such as Idaho. You've got tracks that are very rough, like Edmonton. And this year with the new track being at Edmonton, lots of straight, slow-speed corners. It's going to be a lot different from the high-speed track that we used to go there. So that's a big change. And then you've also got the unknowns like Baltimore. But you know, I'd say that the toughest tracks are a lot of the street courses. They're very bumpy. You've got concrete walls beside you. If you make a mistake, your day's ended pretty quick. Very excited of the you know, the 100th anniversary 500. You know, it's going to be a huge event. Once again, living in Indianapolis, it's going to be cool to see, you know, the build up for it. It is you know, something that you don't see in sports too often. You know, something that's been celebrated for 100 years is pretty crazy. So, you know, I'm excited to be able to be running in it. You know, hopefully I qualify for the race and maybe try and go for a win. You know, it would be, I think, obviously a race at the top of the list for the whole field to try and win this year. It's always at the top of the list, but being a centennial year would be fantastic and you know, be huge to have on your record. So I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. The cartoon character I'd most like to be, well, you know, Elio obviously is Spider-Man, so I can't be that one. There's other great ones, the Invisible Man, you can't be seen, you can get away with lots of cool stuff. Mickey Mouse, everybody loves Mickey Mouse, you know, who doesn't love Mickey Mouse? But I guess for me it's got to be one of our sponsors, the Energizer Bunny. I don't know if that's a cartoon or a character, but hopefully we can try and put that into something. But yeah, Energizer Bunny. I think retired IndyCar driver that I respect the most or admire. There's so many great ones, you know, and so many that are still involved with our series. But, you know, for me, it's got to be AJ Foyt. You know, the guy's a legend. He won so many races, all-time winner, at the top of the list for all-time winner. But also just his, you know, his spirit. You know, he would, you know, obviously he was a huge character in and out of the car. You know, he showed, you know, that he was strong in so many different areas, even when he was smashing a car with a hammer. You know, it's kind of cool stuff. I wish we had more of that. So, yeah, maybe this year I'll get a hammer out and start smashing the car. I like the mix. That's why I love the IndyCar series. That's why I loved the Champ Car series back in the day, because there was always a good mix. You know, you've got short tracks, you've got mile and a half super speedways, you've got the Indianapolis 500, you've got street courses, road courses. That's what I love. For me, you know, I started racing in New Zealand. We don't have any ovals in New Zealand, so you know, road courses, typically like the Watkins Glen old course. Very good racing, lots of undulations and you know, high-speed corners and things like that. Making it to the pinnacle of racing was definitely the hardest challenge, you know, and when you look back on it, there was lots of, I should say, you know, great openings and just timing, I guess, for me especially, not coming from any money. It was extremely tough to try and find rides on the way up. For me now, being in, you know, the pinnacle of racing and IndyCar racing, it's tough to stay there. You know, there's always younger people coming through. You know, I'm at the ripe age of 30 now, so veteran in the series. But yeah, I think it's performing at your best. You know, it's very hard to stay at the top and keep winning races. And luckily, I'm with a great team, with Team Target, and we've done that over the last few years. So, you know, I think what will definitely help that is winning a 500 and a championship this year, and I can maybe stick around for another. So the biggest prank that I recently was witness of was actually we're at the Homestead test before the last race of 2010, and we were obviously at the finish at the end of the day. We went into the to the restroom to relieve ourselves, and we found a raccoon. And Todd, the fueler on my car, actually got the raccoon and we let it loose in the Penske truck, which was pretty funny because people were running everywhere. And then the raccoon actually ended up being put in someone's rental car at the end of the day. So we're still not sure whose rental car the raccoon ended up in, but it was pretty cool. Most looking forward to 2012. Obviously, the new car and engine. I think everybody's excited. It's the current car we've had since 2003, so it's definitely pretty old. And I'm looking forward to the new shapes, the new designs, the difference between the manufacturers. Obviously, the turbos is going to be a big deal. More power on the street and road courses. 2012 is just going to be a whole big bag of excitement. The first race I ever won, I'm thinking I was probably 8, and it was go-karting. I was running, I think it was at a local track actually not far from where we lived. It was called the Mount Wellington go-kart track, and yeah, back then you had a format of 4 races and a feature, and yeah, I was probably 8.5 and won my first race, which I think for anybody and being a kid, you're super excited about that. All you want to do is win a lot more, and luckily my career, I won a few more and moved on. So, but those days you can't beat. I love karting. It was such a great family sport, and you could race so much more often. After the Indy 500, I'd love to win races like Long Beach, which is a race that I haven't won. It's definitely got a lot of history as well, and many different formulas. So Long Beach is definitely at the top of the list. I've won there in Indy Lights, but never in a Champ Car or Indycar, so that would be the top of my list right now.